Hello and welcome guys. In today's video we are taking a look at a collection of mods that I believe to be the best Valheim mods you could ever download for yourself to play the game. As usual, liking and subscribing always helps the channel, and let's jump into the video. One of the mods that you must have is Fantasy Armoury. It's just insane. You want new shields with badass designs? You got it. Easy, they are insanely cool. You want two-handed axes? You also can have that, and they are also very cool. You want axes, one-handed axes like a Viking? You also have that. One-handed swords? You got it as well. Great swords? You got it as well. You want a war hammer? You got it as well. It's just way too good to pass. Just too many options that you can choose from. The next mod, it's fantasy creatures, there we go, which is pretty much the same thing as the last one, but this time it adds creatures. As you can see, you have a demon lord to fight. Sure as hell, it is pretty difficult to beat, but it's pretty awesome that you see this. Still on the same mod, we have also more monsters. I'm not going to show them all, but I'm going to show you some the ones that I think are very worth to show, like this badass big ass tree. It's not doing any damage, but like because I have gold mode on. But as you can see, very giant enemy, very cool. Imagine wandering on the Black Forest and actually finding one of these guys. It would have been so cool to see. If you ever wanted to fight a zombie in Valheim, now you can. You can find the ghoul on this mod as well. It's just insane, right? The amount of monsters that they have, and the animation of them dying is pretty awesome as well. And the list of monsters added by this mod goes on and on and on, as you can see. So you will definitely have a ton of fun finding all of these monsters and killing them all, as a good Viking we all are. What you're seeing right here, it's do or die items, monsters, and do or die biomes. So what that means, we have new items, new monsters, and the empty biomes now have vegetation and specific ores that you can gather. I'm going to show you the ones for Mistlands, and this is how the Mistland looks, by the way. If you didn't know where you were, you now know. This is the new Mistlands added by these three mods that will work together. You kind of need all of them, otherwise this is just not going to work. There we go. This is the plus. You have Valheim here, which is a new enemy added to the Mistland, which is a poison wolf. You maybe find some other creatures, and there's kind of spiders and all of that, because I already played this mod pack. I'm very familiar with it. So yeah, you need to craft a steel pickaxe, and with the steel pickaxe you'll be able to take the glowing metal, which is the metal that's part of this biome added by these three mods, which is, you know, pretty awesome. Let me just smack this. There we go. As you can see, I got fell metal. Of course, you can put this ore in the furnace and it will smelt and create fell metal, which you can craft a bunch of things. Another thing that's very awesome is that you see here this tree. This is not just decoration. Let me grab here my axe, and if I break this tree, it makes a pretty cool noise. That's the first one, and it also will drop a different type of wood that you will need to progress on the game. As you see, added hardwood. This will be necessary to craft certain items and certain weapons, because as you can see on my inventory, I already have a bunch of those, and especially something like this that has a special attack like this. But we'll get into that later on. As I told you, the empty biomes now have things, and this is the deep north. I'm sorry, I was gonna say ashlands, but no, this is the deep north, and this is glowing metal, which I believe this is from metal, if I'm not mistaken. Let me grab my steel pickaxe here. You actually need the steel pickaxe, I believe so. This is gonna take a while, just give me a moment. There we go. As you can see, I got 3 fro metal ores just finding this glowing metal added by the mod. Again, you definitely need to smelt this into a fro metal bar, and what that allows you to do is to make exceptional weapon kit and an exceptional armor kit, which you need fro metal bar, dire wolf hide, black deer wolf, and line and thread. And this will allow you to craft some of the weapons and some of the shields that it's added by the mod that you will see later on. I just want to show you an enemy really fast on this biome here. So there we go. As I was looking, frozen bones, there's some glowing metal, and you have these rock piles, which are pretty awesome, I'll tell you that. And I do believe that this also has its own bosses, to be fair, so you can always go for that. These are the ashlands added by the mod, and as you can see, this is something like this. It will look something like this. You can see that you have the flame metal there with the seedlings protecting them. This also has a bunch of custom mods and something that I'm not really sure what it is. This is a flame dragon. These creatures are annoying as hell. And this is a structure, maybe a tower. I don't know what that is. I didn't find one of those while I was playing, but well, you have a structure, which is pretty nice as well. A pretty nice plus. I don't think this is where you spawn the boss, because when I spawned the boss, it wasn't here. But you have that going on for you. Flame drakes, you have some obsidian golems as well. I think that's what they are. Let me just go take a look. Here we go, obsidian golems. A bunch of new creatures, a bunch of new things on a biome for you to fight and to gather as well. As I already said, you also have new bosses for every biome. As I was telling, these are 3 mods, so that means you also have new items like this sword and this shield. Pretty awesome. Of course, they have resistance versus frost, so that means your shield is kind of immune to frost, and your sword will do frost damage. But you can also have kind of the opposite, which is a shield and a weapon that do fire damage. I mean, the shield kind of is immune to fire, so if someone is attacking fire at you, you're good, but the weapon will do fire damage, as you may already guess. And then you have like a 2-handed weapon that looks exactly like this. It's a pretty awesome thing. If you attack, it will do the normal thing, but the special attack is pretty awesome. As you can see, these dragons keep kind of going around you and they will still do damage. This does spirit and frost damage at the same time, and slash, so it's a pretty efficient weapon to kind of help you out into this mod pack. If you want to try it, it's pretty awesome. Of course, it doesn't stop there. You can have new bows as well, and with the new bows you can also have new arrows like shocking, fury arrow, and the frost arrow. So let me try to attack this guy with the fury arrow here, and you'll see that we'll do poison fire damage. There we go. Of course, it will increase the amount of fire damage that we'll do, because you know these are kind of upgraded arrows, which is pretty nice to see. So let's try the frost one so you have an idea what it does. Didn't even manage to do that, but I think by the point you understand. And this one is a lighting one, so whatever you hit will do lighting damage. So pretty awesome. 3-pack of mods. If you don't want to do the full experience, I would recommend to use this. If you want to do the full experience, go ahead and try it, but I'll tell you, it's goddamn hardcore. It's really hard. Epic Valheim is not a mod, it's kind of a mod pack, so it's a junction of a lot of mods, but I'd still recommend this because the weapons that it adds, it's quite unique, and the boss and the altars are pretty unique, which we'll see later on. So this is a set of flame metal weapons. As you can see, a sword with a shield. You also have a great sword in flame metal again, which is pretty awesome as well. If you go into the flame metal weapons, they will look something like this. This is a long sword made of flame metal. It's actually pretty sick. And taking a look at the great sword, because I thought they were pretty cool as well, it will look like that. And for the mistlands, you will have the heavy metal, which is kind of this black metal armor and shield, I guess. It looks pretty cool, to be fair. So these are some of the items that the mod adds. So these are some of the items that the mod pack has. Let's jump into the progression of the game. The same thing will happen here. You have new monsters on the mistlands, like these spiders here. Moonlit Warden, no idea what that is, but that sounds pretty scary. And of course, the heavy metal here, which you can grab with your pickaxe to make your weapons. I do believe you will need some more trees. I think the trees will also drop something else. I think this one. Let me actually grab an hammer here and show you really fast. I think it's this ones here. You cannot smack the big ones, but you can smack these here. Here we go. The ancient roots will also drop something that's super necessary for your progression in the game. If I could put him down. There we go. You broke it. World Tree Fragment, which will be... Can you go away? Thank you. Which will be very important for use with your heavy metal and some other weapons along the way. Oh, you also have this thing, whatever this is. It doesn't take much damage, I'll tell you that. So you really want to try this mod pack. Of course, we are not going to leave the Mistlands biome without having a Mistlands altar and the Mistlands boss, which will look exactly like this. He has a lot of stances. He will use great swords, he will use bows, he will use shields. It's a pretty cool boss fight, I'll tell you that. So you want to do this. I'm telling you, you wanna go through this if you like Valheim. And not so far away from the Mistlands, we have the Deep North. We already have some company here. Thunder, Frost, Serpent. Don't really want to mess with that. But these kind of ice blocks, or whatever this is called, this is important because this will drop primordial ice. You just kind of have to smack it a little bit. I guess it's a pretty rough ore to gather because it's always on the water, for as far as I understood, but eventually you'll get some primordial ice. It will be important for your progression on the game, and you can also find some from metal around there. There we go, I knew it was close, which you can also use to do your own weapons as well. So yeah, you can also gather that, and that's more progression. There you have it, something that's added by the mod. This is the Deep North boss, which is called a Yorum. Not really gonna mess with them much, and this is where you spawn this boss, which is the frozen altar. Pretty much, it's pretty awesome. I'm gonna smack him, and you'll see that the shit sword does really not a lot. You'll have a lot of fun in this, trust me, because the altars and the bosses are pretty awesome. Here we are at the Ashlands. You have Elder Surtling. No idea what that is. These burning trees are pretty awesome, and you can definitely grab them to continue the progress on your game, because you most likely need some of these trees. But whatever they drops, I mean, it's a pretty cool thing to see these kind of trees burning all the time. It's actually pretty awesome, pretty nice change. I think it fits Valheim very well. There we go, and you will get Burning World 3 Fragment, the usual flame metal that we already know that you're gonna need for the last biome. And of course, the adventure wouldn't be complete if you had a mega boss on a super duper platform to fight and to spawn the Guyenne. As you can see, Blazing Altar, and this is the boss. Let me actually just give him a little smack here. Hell Demon the Enrage. I have no idea, but you are nasty with that armor and you're pretty big. As usual, the video is over. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe.